In a nutshell, planned obsolescence is a strategy that some manufacturers employ to make sure their product fails after a certain amount of time or usage. These days, you'll often hear people say things like, they don't make them like they used to, and in some regards, that's accurate. But the history of planned obsolescence goes back further than you think. In 1925, when commercially available light bulbs were still relatively new, an international group of companies came together in Geneva to found the Phoebus Cartel. These companies included some we still see today, like General Electric and Philips, among others. Their idea was simple: restrict the useful life of all commercially available light bulbs to 1,000 hours, thus generating repeat sales and maximizing profit.
Planned obsolescence is also in reaction to market forces, in the sense of, like, if we couldn't make things so cheaply, we probably wouldn't make them so cheaply. We would then have to make them to last a little bit longer and charge a little bit more for them and all the things that would come with that. I think the straightforward definition is that you don't make it to last forever. The way in which that's defined in terms of economics and corporate values is that no, growth is the only thing that matters, and selling more is the only thing that matters, and therefore it makes sense for us. We are incentivized to make something that eventually breaks down and needs replacing, or that needs additional components to it, and so on and so forth. So we are sort of incentivized by the capitalist structure to make products in that way. But if you talk about it from a business perspective, you can understand the incentive and the strategy behind making something that doesn't last forever, that requires replacement. That when you look at the sort of structure of business and the way in which their incentives are for creation of value, monetary value, through making and selling things, if you made something that never had to be replaced, that's not necessarily good business. I think it's a major challenge on both sides, of both convincing people of the economics and actually designing products that do never become obsolete, because that also goes against the design ethos of improving things and making them easier to use and making them better performing. So I don't know if corporations and the traditional production model can solve this problem, because it is kind of structured to have these perverse incentives of make things cheaper, pollute, that doesn't cost us anything, so that makes us more money. So can we adjust to that? Yes, I think consumer behavior has already shifted towards that, and we'll see if that's a big enough factor.
In sort of layman's terms, they make it to break. But I think the proof is in the pudding as far as the enormous waste issue we're faced with.
Planned obsolescence produces a constant stream of waste, which is shipped to third world countries, such as Ghana in Africa.
It's been between 8 and 9 years now when I noticed that loads and loads of containers were coming to this country with electronic waste. We're talking about end-of-life computers, end-of-life television sets, which nobody wants in the developed countries.
Shipping electronic waste to third world countries is forbidden by international law, but the merchants use a simple trick. They declare the waste as second-hand goods. More than 80% of the electronic waste that arrives in Ghana is totally beyond repair, and whole container loads are abandoned at dump sites all around the country.
We are at the dump site here in Agbogloshi. In the past, we had this beautiful river called Odo River, that meandered its way through this area. It was teeming. In the past, it had so much fish. So we actually attended a school not very far away from here. So we'd come play football and hang around the river. The fishermen would organize boat rides, I remember very well. But now it's all finished, it's all gone. And that makes me really, really sad. And it makes me angry.
It basically boils down to the idea of buy quality, durable, long-lasting goods and less of them, and just we all as individuals have to take a stand. And climate change at its core is just a waste issue. Manufacturing of goods is a key producer of greenhouse gases. So, again, I always think about, the individual decisions we can all make, and just really encourage everyone to just stop and think again, and that's the 3 R's of waste management are very important, reduce, reuse, recycle, and it's in that order. I think we always get obsessed with, well, if I can recycle it, I'm okay.